Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. For this Easter Sunday, we have a huge day of Premier League football as it begins with Liverpool taking on Brighton at Anfield. Liverpool currently sit in second, but with 3 points they can put themselves at the top of the table for at least a few hours before Manchester City take on Arsenal. Before the international break, Klopp's side were knocked out of the FA Cup, but that needs to be forgotten as there is this treble still to play for the home side. For Brighton, they have had a dip compared to last season, with the Seagulls currently in 9th position, but 3 points would lift them into the European spots and have them into 7th place. They have lost 3 of their last 4 away games in the Premier League and have also recently been battered away in Rome against Roma by 4-0. The recent head-to-head between these two has gone in the favour of Brighton, as they have just lost 1 of their last 8 against Liverpool in all competitions. But Brighton only have 1 Premier League away win at Anfield, and that was back in February 2021. So, for this crunch match in the title race, will Liverpool put themselves top of the table, or can Brighton cause Liverpool issues once again? Very glad I got through that. I could feel the noise coming from outside, but it's a huge game. In this one, it's not the biggest game of the day. Obviously, we've got Manchester City against Arsenal later on, but this could have huge, it could have a knock-on effect on that game, because if Arsenal and Manchester City, see that Liverpool have picked up 3 points, Liverpool would go up to 67. That means Manchester City would be 4 points behind Liverpool, and for Arsenal that would mean they'd be 3 points behind Liverpool. It might put a bit of an emphasis on one of those two teams, maybe going for it a bit more, not just settling for a point. So we could definitely have, it could show the game later on going one of two ways. It's definitely a chance for Liverpool to really put the pressure on both of those teams, because if they win today, Liverpool, and put themselves a bit further ahead, that shows that a point in that City-Arsenal game isn't enough for any of the two teams. And I think for a huge bonus for Liverpool is the fact that one of those two teams will drop points. If not, both could drop points. Of course, if Manchester City win, Arsenal drop points. If Arsenal win, City drop points. And if they draw, they both drop points. So I think it's definitely a day which could certainly suit Liverpool. But if Liverpool lose or draw, and then one of those two teams, City or Arsenal, they go on and win, then it goes back in their favour. So it could really go one of many ways today in terms of the results that we get. So it's going to be really exciting, and hopefully this game can live up to the hype, because like I say, Liverpool have only beaten Brighton once in the last 8 in all competitions, and that was away from home. And Brighton do only have 3 wins in 19 trips to Anfield in their history. They beat them in March in 1982, February 1983 on the way to Brighton reaching the FA Cup final that year, and then back most recently in February 2021. So they haven't won here many times, but their recent history does show that they can. Recent history shows that they can pick up a result against Liverpool, and they need the results. Actually, 9th at the minute. Brighton, 3 points would put them up into 7th position. So it could look a lot better come the end of the day, but how difficult is it to come to Liverpool, who haven't lost here in all competitions since the 21st of February 2023. That's 33 home games ago. Liverpool last lost, that was to Real Madrid in the Champions League. The last time they lost at home in the Premier League was against Leeds back on the 29th of October 2022. That was 27 Premier League home games ago. So Liverpool don't really lose here. Brighton don't really win here that often, but their recent head-to-head record does show that Brighton can pick up results. So I just think it shows that this game can go so many different ways. That's what makes it so exciting, and it can have such an impact on the title race of who takes the lead in the title race come the end of today. Some big games coming up. Liverpool have got Sheffield United in the week at home, but then they've got Manchester United again away in the Premier League, obviously recently losing to United in the FA Cup, and then they've got Atalanta in the Europa League last 8. So it's a huge next few weeks coming up for Liverpool in terms of looking for that treble. Can't win the quadruple, but the treble is still on of the Premier League. Obviously already winning the League Cup, and obviously, of course, the Europa League as well, which the final is in Dublin. So much to play for Brighton. It's just reaching those European spots now. They are out of the FA Cup. They were beaten by Wolves in the 5th round. They're out of the Europa League, knocked out by Roma. So all the focus now for Brighton is on the Premier League finish, trying to get into Europe once again. They finished 6th last season, their best ever Premier League finish. So they'll be wanting to at least try and get near and around that position once again. They probably won't finish 6th because Manchester United are a little bit further on than the ones below them. But a 7th place finish for Brighton I think would be a success. You've got to remember, at the end of the day, some clubs do overachieve in seasons, and you could say Brighton slightly overachieved last season, finishing in 6th. So I think finishing in 7th for Brighton, I think, would still be a really fantastic season for them. We'll go through both lineups now, as we'll start with the Liverpool starting 11, and they make just one change from their last league lineup against Manchester City in the 1-1 draw here, and it is Kelleher to remain in goal, back four of 20-year-old Conor Bradley, the Northern Irish international, who scored his first Northern Ireland goal in the international break just past, and that was against Scotland. And the left back is Joe Gomez, who made his first England appearance since October 2020 with two centre halves of Jarrell Quansah and Virgil van Dijk. Three in the midfield of Wataru Endo, Dominic Szoboszlai, and their return and a player who's coming up against his former side, and that is Alexis McAllister. Scored 20 goals for Brighton in his 4-year stay at the club. And a front three on the right is Mohamed Salah, who's got 15 league goals so far this season, 4 away for equaling his tally of last season. On the left is Luis Diaz, who has scored once against Brighton, and that was in Liverpool's last win against them back in the 21-22 season. And up front, playing through the middle, it is Darwin Núñez, who's scored 3 goals in his last 4 Premier League games that he's played in. He's on 17 altogether for the season. And for Brighton, they just make 2 changes from their... They make 5 changes from their last lineup against Liverpool back in early October. It is Bart Verbruggen who's been chosen to play in goal. And it looks like it's going to be a back 3 of Joel Veltman, Lewis Dunk and Jan-Paul van Hecke, with 2 wing-backs of Tariq Lamptey and Pervis Estepinian. 2 across the midfield, that is going to be Carlos Baleba and Pascal Gross, who's got 1 goal in his last 13 games for Brighton. That was against Spurs away from home. And then 3 up front on the left is going to be Jakub Murder, who's making his 50th Premier League appearances of his career, still yet to score the Polish international. On the right is Simon Adingra, who won the African Cup of Nations back at the start of the year. And up front, making his 100th Brighton Premier League appearance, and that is Danny Welbeck, who is searching for his 25th Brighton goal. Could be a huge moment for Danny Welbeck. 100 Brighton appearances in the Premier League. This is his 324th Premier League appearance altogether, scoring 65 goals, and the most goals he scored for one club in the Premier League is Brighton, scoring 21 for Brighton, 20 for Manchester United, 16 for Arsenal, 6 for Sunderland, and 2 for Watford. A very experienced player up there, Danny Welbeck, who will be looking to try and haunt one of his previous rivals. Of course, formerly a Manchester United player, Danny Welbeck. He scored twice previously against Liverpool in 22 appearances, both of them in the Premier League, one of them here away from home at Anfield in the 2016-2017 season. And Danny Welbeck has been preferred to up front, as Evan Ferguson is on the bench. And interestingly enough, Evan Ferguson grew up as a Manchester United fan, and his hero was Wayne Rooney, so maybe Evan Ferguson will have that fire in his belly to try and stop this Liverpool title charge as a Manchester United fan. As we'll be getting underway here at Anfield in a minute or 2 time. As for Liverpool, they have played 2 games since their last Premier League fixture, winning 6-1 against Sparta Prague in the Europa League last 16 second leg, where they were 4-0 up in 14 minutes, and then they were beaten 4-3 by Manchester United. So there has been 14 goals in Liverpool's last 2 games, and Roberto De Zerbi's first ever game in charge of Brighton was a 3-3 draw here at Anfield against Liverpool. So hopefully that's some omens that we get some goals here at Anfield. It's going to be a game that Liverpool will have the fire in the belly to really want to get the 3 points, because they've got a chance to put the pressure on Manchester City and Arsenal, who face each other later on at the Etihad Stadium. But it's not been a fantastic record against Brighton in recent times. 1 win from their last 8 against the Seagulls. Jurgen Klopp still yet to beat De Zerbi. It is 2 draws and 2 defeats. Just the one time, though, that De Zerbi has faced Klopp at Anfield, and that was that 3-3 draw at the start of October in 2022. So the last 3 meetings have been at the Amex Stadium. Because at the Amex in the Premier League last season, Brighton beat Liverpool 3-0, and then they beat them in the FA Cup 4th round 2-1 as well. And then it was a 2-2 draw when these two sides last met this season on the 8th of October. So it'll be Brighton to kick us off, kicking left to right, Liverpool right to left it. As Dunk sends it out to the Brighton right here, where Van Dijk strongly wins a header on Welbeck, but he drops the Veltman on halfway, lifts it forward, chested down by Murder, keeps it away from Szoboszlai and takes on Endo. Good running here from Murder, who's then tackled by Gomez on the edge of the 18-yard box, and they've worked it back to Kelleher here, as Liverpool will get themselves on the ball. As some decent bit of footwork there from Jakob Murder on his 50th Premier League appearance. Was out for a very long time, the Polish central midfielder, Brighton's number 15. He was out with an ACL injury and he was out for 19 months. Returned back in November of last year. As Belebra on halfway, as Brighton have the ball back here, goes back to Van Hecker and across to Dunk, midway side the Brighton half. He's been forced to go to his goalkeeper here in the 18-yard box of Bart Verbruggen. Clips out to the right towards Veltman, who can't quite keep it in. It's gone over his head and it's out for a Liverpool throw just in front of the Brighton technical area, and he is one of the many managers that has been named as a possible candidate to take over here when Klopp leaves at the end of the season. Roberto De Zerbi, who's previously worked at the likes of Shakhtar Donetsk and Sassuolo as well. And it'll be a big step up for him if he was to take the Liverpool job, but he's building something here at Brighton, as they're also building an attack here as Adingra down the left-hand side, running at Quansah into the final third, into the 18-yard box. He squares it across, looking for Welbeck. It deflects back to the Danny Welbeck, and he fires it into the top right corner. Brighton take an early lead within 90 seconds. And on his 100th Premier League appearance for Brighton, Danny Welbeck puts them ahead with an unbelievable finish. Jurgen Klopp with a wry smile, as I don't think he can quite believe how quickly his side's gone behind here. Right on the edge of the box, Danny Welbeck scoring his 25th Brighton goal. It started with Estepinian playing it out to Adingra on the left-hand side, who got the ball inside his own half. He was allowed to run forward. Quansah continued to back off. Adingra squared it across to the 18-yard box, where it came off Welbeck and deflected off Van Dijk back to Welbeck, who just suck it on first time. No chance for Kelleher. Like I say, it was going towards Welbeck from the original pass from Adingra, but it was taken away from Welbeck off Szoboszlai, and then off Szoboszlai came off Van Dijk, who was trying to keep the ball away from Murder, and as Van Dijk deflected it away from goal, it was put straight back towards goal with that attempt from Welbeck. What a goal that is. And Brighton, who have got such a good record as of late against Liverpool, lead them once again. And at Anfield, it's 1-0. What a goal that is from Danny Welbeck. Unbelievable strike. And it's Brighton who lead. They've only won once here in the Premier League, and that was back in February 2021. Well, what an attempt that was from Welbeck. As we're back underway here, Liverpool on the ball, midway side the Brighton half here with Endo. Forward to Nunez, wants to go through towards Salah in the 18-yard box, goes behind the Egyptian, who will chase the ball down, but it'll be Adingra to get there first. Chops away from Conor Bradley in front of the corner flag, and I think there's a whistle blown there, maybe a offside given. Not the start Jurgen Klopp would have wanted. He has got a 50% win record against Brighton, Jurgen Klopp. 7 wins from 14. He did win his first 6 against Brighton, as the away side go long here out to the left-hand side, where Welbeck has not been able to keep that in. Throwing for Liverpool in the defensive third here on the far side. Liverpool clear it along beyond Nunez on halfway, and it falls here for Van Hecke, just inside the Brighton half. Goes out to the right here to Veltman. Inside to Beleba in the centre circle. Shifts it to Murder, who's got Lamptey out wide right, and it just goes behind him, but Lamptey can keep it in, but he's offside as the ball is played to him, and it'll be a Liverpool free kick. What a goal getting Brighton. That was an unbelievable goal. You know, we know Danny Welbeck can score some beauties. That's his 4th of the season in the Premier League. Scored against Manchester United, Palace, Sheffield United, and now against Liverpool, as McAllister plays it forward to Salah in a more central area. Goes out to the left here to Szoboszlai. Once more now to Diaz on the edge of the area. Puts the ball in towards Nunez, who can't quite flick it on for the run of Salah. Cut out by Beleba, who gives it away to Bradley on the edge of the box. It's now McAllister. He goes backwards here to Endo. Then to his left to Gomez, as all Brighton players are currently behind the ball. It's now with Szoboszlai in the left wing position, just outside the area. Cuts into his right foot and puts a great ball in. And as Nunez is running on towards it, he's gone down over the challenge of Estepinian. And today's referee, David Coote, doesn't give the penalty. Two South Americans there colliding. Let's have a look. The ball was put in. A little bit of pulling there from Estepinian. Does need to be careful because he wasn't necessarily looking at the ball. But I don't think there's enough in it there for a penalty. VAR today, Paul Tierney is going to have a look at this. And the decision is no penalty. Would have been a bit soft, that, in all fairness. That's Verbruggen, the Brighton goalkeeper, sends this one long out to the left-hand side, looking for a Dinger who controls it out of play. Throwing for Liverpool, which has been taken quickly by Quansah into Endo, who's midway side the Liverpool half, sat in between the two centre-backs. He plays it to the left there to Virgil van Dijk, who has scored twice against Brighton, and they both came in the same game. It was in a 2-1 win at home against them in the 1920 season, the season Liverpool have won their only Premier League title. As in the centre circle, inverting from full-back is Joe Gomez. Forward to Szoboszlai. Can't lay it off for Salah, but then given away by Gross here to Salah, who's overhit the touch, tackled by Dunk, who goes back to Verbruggen in the Brighton goal, clears it long out to the left-hand side again, looking for a Dinger. A header won there by Quansah on halfway to Bradley down the line, who can get beyond Estepinian and plays it through here for Nunez. On the right side of the box, he pulls it back, deflects off Van Hecke, falls through here for McAllister, so Liverpool can continue their momentum. As it's Diaz in the left wing position, running at Veltman, wanting to get into his right foot. He does that, plays it inside for Salah on the edge of the area, can't slot it through back for Diaz, and it can be volleyed away in the end by Joel Veltman. Headed forward there by Van Dijk, dealt with by Lamptey. Murder can't hold it up. He's tackled there by Endo, who plays it forward towards Nunez. Cut out by Dunk, forced to Pascal Gross here, just inside the Brighton half. Goes to the left to Adingra, who will run here at Bradley, sends him to the deck, and Adingra is away, down the left-hand side, into the box, one-on-one with Quansah, goes on the outside. Adingra puts it across, and it's overhit. Then he'll go through here towards Tariq Lamptey, who's nudged to the ground by Gomez. Nothing given by the referee, and it's a chance for Liverpool now to go forward as Gomez puts it behind Szoboszlai, but he can shift it on for McAllister before Welbeck can get there. And it's now with Salah, running at Estepinian, edge of the area, onto his left foot, shoots. It's pretty timid in the end, blocked by Dunk. Falls back to Salah, who can keep the ball away from Gross, towards the byline. Salah, onto his left foot, plays it backwards here to Bradley. Now to McAllister. Time on the ball for the Argentine. Goes to Nunez, just inside the area. Back to goal. Lays it off for Salah. Wants the 1-2. Comes off Estepinian. It's now with Murder on the edge of the box. And eventually cleared by Van Hecke. And now to play on the halfway line for Liverpool. It's been a pretty quick start to this game from both sides. Brighton lead 1-0. Scored within 90 seconds by Danny Welbeck, the former Manchester United forward. Scoring his second ever goal here at Anfield. And Brighton have only won 4 times away from home this season. They've not been great on their travels as Salah bends it towards the top left corner. And it just goes wide. Inside the area. How many times have we seen Salah score from those type of positions? That time couldn't quite bend it in enough to get it into that far corner. It was played out to Bradley on the right-hand side. And it was a free gap in there for Salah as he played it in towards him. And he curled it to that top left corner, but just didn't quite bend it enough. But it wasn't far away at all. Yeah, Brighton's 4 away wins have come against Wolves in August, Manchester United in September, Nottingham Forest in November, and Sheffield United in February. So they haven't been great on their travels this season, especially recently. Only 1 win since November. As it's Brighton in the Liverpool half on the far side here with Adingra, who's been so dangerous already for Brighton. Driving onto his right foot, can't get away from Bradley. Taken off him by Endo, and it's a foul given against him though. Just pulled down Adingra as he almost got back in front of Endo. Was it McAllister who pulled him down? Let's have a look. Adingra overran it, tackled by Bradley. Endo took the ball away, and then McAllister just held back Adingra as he was trying to get the ball back. So dangerous position here for Brighton. Pascal Gross has stood over it. He's been the assist king for Brighton this season, Pascal Gross, in the league. 10 assists already. 45 altogether in his Premier League career. Estepinian is also stood over it as the left-footed option as Brighton have this free kick on the far side, about 30 yards from goal. It's a one-man Salah wall for Liverpool as Estepinian's the one to cross it. Header won by McAllister on the penalty spot. Only as far as Adingra. Out to Gross, who crosses off Gomez. And that'll be a corner kick for Brighton on the far side. Positive start from the Seagulls, who have had an early lead. They also took the lead in the reverse fixture between these two. It was Adingra to give Brighton the lead in the 20th minute. But Liverpool did make it 2-1 before half-time. 2 goals in 5 minutes by Mohamed Salah. But it'll be Brighton to look to double their lead here as it is Pascal Gross with the right-footed in-swinging cross as they... it's overhit and it goes out of play for a goal kick. They surrounded the 6-yard box there, Brighton, and then Pascal Gross crossed the ball to absolutely nobody. The Brighton players were more in and around the near post area. Gross has whipped it to the far post and it's gone straight out of play. Bit of a waste there for Brighton as, like I say, Liverpool haven't lost a Premier League home game since Leeds in October 2022. And only Fulham have scored more than 1 goal here at Anfield this season, and that was in a 4-3 win for Liverpool. So Liverpool don't usually concede more than 1 at home. As it's Conor Bradley getting forward from right back here for Liverpool. Here's Quansah, 25 yards out, giving time to run forward here. Lays it off from McAllister. It goes into Bradley on the angle, outside the area. Works it out to the far side here to Mohamed Salah. Back into Bradley. It's now with Quansah. Brings it forward again. Finds McAllister in a tight area who's going to let fly from the edge of the box. And it's always rising over the crossbar there from the former Brighton Hove Albion midfielder. Brought in for an initial fee of £35 million from Brighton. He had a fantastic year with them last season, scoring 10 Premier League goals, 6 of them from the penalty spot. But that time he couldn't bag one against his former side, as he has got 2 goals in his last 4 Premier League games. Alexis McAllister scoring that penalty against Manchester City in their last league game back on the 10th of March. As Verbruggen sends it low up towards Welbeck, who holds it up against Endo and lays it off into Beleba. Midway side the Brighton half, he's got pressure from behind him, but he just keeps charging forward, and then he's tackled by McAllister on the halfway line, and Liverpool will look to try and break if possible. McAllister has to slow the game down though. Well, no real options on for him going forward, so he goes back here to Virgil van Dijk, who relays it into McAllister. Salah's made a run in behind, he's going to find him on the byline. The flag may go up, but play continues for now, and it has to be kicked behind there by Adingra, and the flag has stayed down there. Salah looked to have timed his run to perfection. It was a good ball from McAllister, getting it in between Duncan and Estepinian. Yeah, well onside there, Salah. Really good run. It was good recovery there from Adingra from the left wing position to kick that ball out of play. It's going to be an outswinger. It's going to go short, actually, from Szoboszlai here to McAllister, who will be allowed to put the cross in at the near post. Kicked into the air here by Welbeck. Still in the 18-yard box where Estepinian misses the header, and it's nodded down by Szoboszlai. Touched on by Bradley here to Endo. Across to Diaz. Then on once more here to the left to Salah, who tries to kick it into the box. It deflects back to him, and he kicks it across the edge of the 18-yard box to Bradley, who header goes to Adingra and not to Szoboszlai. And Adingra will burst past McAllister, pushed down by the Argentine. And nothing's given as a foul. Oh, yes, it is. It has been given as a foul. Yellow card there for McAllister. Adingra looked to have got away there. Poor header from Bradley. Looking for Szoboszlai. It fell to Adingra instead. He took a heavy touch around McAllister, tried to burst beyond him, but he just got pulled back there by Liverpool's number 10. And it was a foul that probably needed to be made there by McAllister, because Adingra was on his bike and he was away then, the Ivorian. It's McAllister's 6th yellow card of the season in the Premier League. As played down the line, Estepinian crosses into the 18-yard box. Dunk heads it across, headed away by Nunez. And there's a foul in there. I think as Dunk won his header, he shoved Szoboszlai to the ground. And it'll be a free kick in the 18-yard box here for Liverpool. Quansah, heavy touch, just about plays it forward, but can't find McAllister on halfway. Picked up here by Welbeck on the far side, who brings it forward, lays it off for Adingra, who then goes back here to Purvis Estepinian. And it's Brighton on the ball with Van Hecke. Goes across here to Dunk, being closed down here by Nunez, been forced back to his goalkeeper of Verbruggen. It goes forward to Beleba, to the left centre half here. Dunk on the edge of the 18-yard box, goes low, forward, flicked on by Welbeck, deflects off Quansah to Gross, who can not take it away from Bradley. Good tackle there from the fullback. And it is Liverpool who are back in possession on this near side here with Diaz, just inside his own half. Goes inside to his right to Gomez. High ball out to the right looking towards Bradley. Controlled well. Kept away from Adingra. And back into the Liverpool half now with Quansah. So now Gomez to the number 78 of Quansah once again. He's now an England under-21 international. Jarell Quansah making appearances for them in the recent international break. As here he's on the ball. All Brighton players behind the ball at the moment. As Quansah lays it off 5 yards here to Szoboszlai. Back to Quansah again. To Szoboszlai. Brighton sat very compact and deep and making it difficult for Liverpool to break through. It's still with Quansah. Dribbling through the midfield and running into Van Hecke and being dispossessed by the Dutch centre-back. And it's a foul there on Veltman from Diaz on the edge of the box as Veltman tried to dribble past Diaz. Free kick for Brighton. No real pass on for him there. Jarell Quansah so decided to take matters into his own hands and try and run through the Brighton team, where he was stopped in his tracks by Van Hecke. It's now with the left back here of Estepinian. In the defensive third, his pass forward deflects up in the air off Bradley. Played forward by McAllister to Salah. Lays it back off for Bradley. Inside against McAllister. On the edge of the box. Slips it through for Salah. Touch and shot. Blocked there. Falls back to Salah, who's still got it. Tries to shoot on the edge of the box. It comes off Beleba. Falls through here for Diaz. It's now Nunez on the edge, on the corner of the box here on the left-hand side. Not got many options around him. Finds Diaz. He finds Endo. Back through for Diaz. Taken off him by Beleba. Lamped it. Needs to clear down the Brighton right if possible. Can't take on Gomez. One back for Liverpool as Gomez plays it across here to a central area to Quansah. Who finds McAllister. Over the top here for Salah in the box. Who volleys it first time. And over the crossbar it goes. Again, I don't think any flag was put up there by the assistant referee. Let's have a look here as Quansah laid it off for McAllister. Salah ran in behind and I think he was onside there. Another big chance for the Egyptian. He was scored 8 times in his previous 14 against Brighton. And he should be getting that on target at least. Volleying it over the crossbar. There's the Brighton go along here with Verbruggen. Goes over the head of Welbeck. It drops towards Quansah, who puts it into the air here. Difficult ball for Endo to deal with. Welbeck heads it away. Dealt with by Van Dijk as he volleys it out to the right here to Bradley, who's shown too much of the ball there to Adingra. And the referee's gone it, put it against him. Foul there. I think Conor Bradley's got away with that one. As now he's got the ball, bringing it forward from fullback. Conor Bradley into the final third, running at Estepinian into the 18-yard box. Bradley squares it. Salah shoots, and again it's gone wide. Mohamed Salah, just over 18 minutes in, has had a handful of early chances here, but still yet to really work. The Brighton goalkeeper, that one's gone wide, couldn't get his foot around it. Hit quite straight in the end where he needed a bit of curl on it to divert it on target. But despite going down early, Liverpool are showing that they can get back in this game as Brighton go long here up towards Welbeck. Header away there by Endo to the halfway line. It's McAllister who's caught late there by Gross. And he'll have a word with him here. David Coote, former teammates there. Gross and McAllister. And the Argentine has stayed down here. David Coote, the referee, hasn't brandished any cards out yet for this challenge. Let's have a look. Bradley headed it inside here to McAllister. Ball was there to be won in fairness, and Gross has gone to get the ball. His studs were showing, and McAllister's just kicked his boot with his studs showing. Painful one for McAllister. So it's a yellow card for Pascal Gross. As that is also his 6th yellow card of the season in the Premier League. And McAllister got his 6th booking of the season just before, stopping a Brighton counter-attack through Simon Adingra. So McAllister stayed down here. That would be a painful one. He's literally just booted the bottom of Gross's boot. So it will definitely be a painful one. As there is James Milner, formerly of Liverpool. Joined Brighton in the summer. Currently out injured, the 38-year-old. This is not a good sign for Liverpool and Alexis McAllister. They do have Ryan Gravenberch on the bench as a central midfield swap. They've also got Harvey Elliott as well, who can also play in the centre of midfield. As they're going to show the goal again. Adingra, who's been a constant threat for Brighton, playing the ball across, poked away from Welbeck by Szoboszlai, but deflected back to Welbeck off Van Dijk, and very instinctively, like the experienced striker he is, just fired it into the top right corner. Didn't even have to think about it. Danny Welbeck. Brilliant goal. And McAllister's back to his feet and he's back playing, sending the ball over the top here for Salah, who can control it, but the touch goes out of play. Goal kick for Brighton. So it looks like McAllister will be okay to continue, despite that slight little foot problem after that foul from Pascal Gross. This is just the 14th meeting, though, between the two teams in the Premier League. Liverpool have won 7. Brighton have won twice. 1 at home and 1 away. As Veltman's ball down the Brighton right. He's gone towards Lamptey on halfway. He's been dispossessed by Van Dijk. Szoboszlai takes over. Pass forward to Nunez. Through now for Diaz, who's kept himself onside for now. Tackled strongly by Veltman. But Diaz hadn't actually kept himself onside. And that'll be a free kick in a right-back position for Brighton and Hove Albion. Thought that he'd just been able to keep himself onside there, Diaz, but apparently not. As Veltman takes the free kick, goes into Gross on the edge of the box, closed down by Szoboszlai, finds number 5, Lewis Dunk in the 18-yard box, sprays it out to the right here to Veltman, can't quite control it, out of play for a Liverpool throw, just inside the Brighton half on the near side, thrown backwards there by Diaz as they'll restart with number 4, Virgil van Dijk. Now with Endo, who's been an absolute revelation for Liverpool, coming in to replace Fabinho, who left for Saudi Arabia in the summer. Endo just has the 1 Premier League goal, and it was off the bench against Fulham in early December. As it's Liverpool on the ball, inside their own half here with Quansah, finds Szoboszlai. Back into Quansah once again as Brighton now begin to press as Bradley's put under pressure here from Gross. Forced to go back here to the edge of the box to Caoimhín Kelleher, who's 1 game against Brighton previously, was in their home win, in Brighton's away win here at Anfield back in February 2021. And they're trailing here once again by a 1-0. Still with Kelleher as Brighton just hold their press for now, just keep shape instead. It's Quansah forward into the Brighton half here to Salah in the centre circle. He curls out to the left here to Diaz. His touch just gets in front of him, but he can keep it away from Veltman. He runs into the box, and the last touch there off Veltman, and that'll be a corner kick. The Brighton goalkeeper for Bruggen left it to go out as he thought that was going to be a goal kick. But it's been given as a corner. Diaz running into the 18-yard box, running directly at Veltman. And he kicked it off the Dutch fullback. And it'll be a Liverpool corner here with Dominic Szoboszlai to take. Van Dijk's up there, Quansah's in there, Nunez as well, all in a pack of 3. As the ball goes into the far post, it's a header away by Brighton. It'll be Gomez to retreat it though for Liverpool. Out to the right here to Salah, who recycles it into the box. It's a floated one in. Comes off the head of Nunez. Drops in the box eventually, but there's a whistle blown and a free kick for Brighton. Maybe for an offside, or I'm not quite sure what was given there, but goes against Liverpool. But Brighton, despite having 9 games left in the Premier League after this, they've got some big games coming up. They've got difficult fixtures, Brighton. Got to play Arsenal at home, Manchester City at home, Aston Villa at home, Newcastle away, Manchester United at home as well. So it is a difficult end to the season for Brighton, who are still searching for those European places. Currently jumping to 7th with this 3 points at the moment. But will they be able to keep hold of those 3 points? As Liverpool have looked very dangerous here. As we're 25 minutes in, Brighton still lead by a goal to 0 here at Anfield. A goal in 90 seconds from Danny Welbeck. And it's like Brighton's only attempt on goal so far. And that's all Welbeck's needed so far. It's Liverpool on the ball in their own half here with Van Dijk. Comes out to the near side here to Diaz, who goes across to Quansah. Just his 10th Premier League appearance for Jarell Quansah. As he started the game against Manchester United in the FA Cup. He started 21 games now in all competitions this season, Quansah, who's had to step up this season for the injured Matip, who was injured earlier on in the campaign with an ACL injury. As it's on the far side here with Salah. Into the space for McAllister. Pokes it away from Lamptey, looking for the run of Nunez. It's just overhit. And the last touch, in fact, came off a Brighton player as McAllister kicked the ball. And that'll be a Liverpool corner on the far side. Lamptey, the one who got the last touch. So more defending here for Brighton to do. But for Brighton's poor season, they have only lost once at home, and that was against West Ham in August. So it's just been their away form that's let them down. There's the outswinger in from Szoboszlai towards Van Dijk. Headed away by Dunk. Drops to the edge of the area to Salah, who heads it back forward. Deflects off Veltman. Through for Diaz, who puts it into the top left corner. Liverpool want the ball. They're not settling for the equaliser. They want to go and get in the lead of this game. But they've drawn themselves level through Luis Diaz. It's his second in 4 against Brighton. And he's now got 4 in his last 8 in the Premier League. And as Brighton argue the goal shouldn't stand, at the minute it does. It's a corner in from Szoboszlai. Goes in towards Van Dijk. Headed away by Dunk. Put back in by Salah. And as he was headed forward, it was flicked on by Veltman. Through for Diaz, who in the 6-yard box beat Verbruggen to the ball. And put it into that top right corner. Instinctive like Welbeck's goal. Just to get there first. Swing the right boot at it. To put it into that top left corner. And as Salah headed forward. Came off Baleba. Then off Veltman. Through for Diaz. I think they're asking for an offside, Brighton. As the ball was headed back forward by Salah. But it's not been given. No offside seen. And it is an equaliser for Liverpool, and you can't say it's not been coming. They've been very dominant since going behind in the second minute of the game. And it's Diaz with the goal. As they want a second here, cross into the box, caught by Verbruggen in the 6-yard area. So it's a goal for Diaz, who's got 4 and 8 now in the league. His previous 3 were against Chelsea, Burnley and Luton. That's with Dunk in the 18-yard box. Clears it long up towards Murder, whose touch gets away from Van Dijk. And plays out to the left here to Adingra. Van Dijk is out of position. Adingra's got a run at Quansah here on the Brighton left wing. Murder's overlapping him. Adingra will play it through to him towards the byline. He puts the left-footed cross in where it's been thied by Gomez. Straight to Adingra. And his shot blocked there by Endo. And an offside flag's gone up as Adingra played it to Murder, who was overlapping. Murder was offside. Adingra just playing that pass too late. Let's have a look. Adingra again running at Quansah. And yeah, his pass to Murder was just too late. He needed to play it sooner. And Murder had just strayed offside. So free kick for Liverpool. Liverpool play from the back with their right centre-half here of Quansah. Goes back here onto the edge of the 18-yard box to Queeveen Kelleher. Back to Quansah again. Finds Endo, still in the Liverpool half as Brighton sit behind the ball. Endo in behind here for Bradley, over the top of Adingra. Bradley will get there, but he's been caught offside. Flag goes up there on the Northern Irish international. Seems like that ball has always been on, though, for Liverpool in this game. That ball in behind, especially down the Brighton left. That's where it seems like they're making the most of that pass through. As Brighton have already got us back underway. Edge of the box here with Van Hecker towards the near side. He's going to play it here to Veltman. Ball inside here now to Beleba. Midway side the Brighton half. Plays out to the left towards Adingra, who will keep it inside the Brighton half. Goes into the midfield now to Gross. He plays it back here into Dunk. No one closing Dunk down at the moment, but plays it 5 yards across to his right to Van Hecker. Back into Dunk again. Now Gross in more of a left-back position here. Now with Welbeck dropping deep here to link up the play, and he finds Adingra again. And then back through for Welbeck, who's storming into the box here. Danny Welbeck on a tight angle, on his left foot. He hits the side netting. You feel like Welbeck's got to at least work that on target or pull it across. Well worked there from the Brighton team on the left-hand side. Perfectly weighted pass by Adingra to complete the 1-2 with Welbeck. And it was Endo chasing Welbeck down. And on the angle, Welbeck went with the left-footed strike. Side netting. There's McAllister, gets beyond Gross and plays it through here for Szoboszlai. Diaz is through on the left. Salah's on the right instead. He plays it to Salah, who takes on the shot early. And it's straight at Verbruggen. The Salah's quality. That's a really poor finish. It was played into the centre circle to Szoboszlai, who got it through the gap to Salah, who on the edge of the box took it really early and just passed it to Verbruggen. A really strange and really rubbish finish, that really, by Salah, if we're going to be completely honest. It remains 1-1 here at Anfield. As Lamptey, his pass goes to Szoboszlai, not to Beleba, but Nunez can't replay it into Szoboszlai. It's back with Brighton with Lamptey, who's shoved to the ground from behind there by Diaz. And that'll be a Brighton free kick on this near side, inside their own half. But Brighton have played 14 games before today in 2024, winning 6, drawing 3 and losing 5. So it's not been good and it's not been bad. It's just been very mediocre for Brighton this year so far. As Liverpool come forward with Bradley in the box, lays it off for Diaz, who shoots to the bottom right corner. Comfortable save for Verbruggen down low to his left. Positive running there by Bradley as Brighton give it away on their left-hand side with Adingra. Bradley brought it forward to the edge of the box. Tried to slip it through for Nunez. It deflected back to him off Dunk, and then he eventually laid it off for Diaz, who's a bit like Salah's shot, just a bit timid really. Needed to get his foot through it a bit more if possible. There's Brighton have it now with Estepinian on the far side. Finds Welbeck. He goes back to Estepinian, 10 yards inside the Liverpool half. Goes to the halfway line here to Gross. Time on the ball here for German midfielder. He goes to his left here to Estepinian. Now Adingra into the final third. He's got McAllister and Bradley as company, but he works a 1-2 with Estepinian, and then Adingra's away in the box. Tries to square it, but it comes off Quansah. Welbeck was free in the box there as well. Needed a better quality pass by Adingra. Well, Brighton are 100% showing that they can score again in this game. There's definitely spaces there for them, and they're exploiting them more often than not. Brighton, it's just that final pass or that final shot that's just eluding them at the moment. As at the moment, Liverpool do go top of the league, point clear with this extra point. But of course, Manchester City and Arsenal play against each other later on today at 4:30 in less than 2 hours' time. Adingra on the halfway line on the far side. He gives it away. Bradley there to tackle him. Bradley brings it forward. Away from one challenge. Playing it through to Nunez. It's just taken off him by Van Hecker as he entered the box. Important defending there by Van Hecker. And Brighton can find Adingra, who's back doing his defensive work. Plays it to Estepinian, who's been bundled over from behind by Endo. And with 11 minutes left of this first half, it's a Brighton free kick. It just seems like when either of the two teams lose possession, the other team look likely to score. Like when Brighton win it back, they look really dangerous on the counter-attack as they've gone long here. Down the left-hand side for Welbeck, his touch is heavy, but it will stay in here, just outside the area, pulls it across, murder with the shot, and it's not far away. He wants a corner, and he'll get it. Shot deflects off Van Dijk. But from that free kick, Dunk went over the top looking for Welbeck. His touch wasn't great, but it was just light enough to keep the ball in, and he pulled it across there to Van Dijk and has murdered with the left foot shot. And I think he did just take a slight nick there off Van Dijk. Well seen by the referee. It's going to be a left-footed cross in here for Brighton by Estepinian. In he goes towards the penalty spot, headed away by Nunez as he was aiming for Dunk. And Salah forward now for Diaz, who's one-on-one with Veltman. Nunez is charging forward to his left. Diaz needs to get his head up, but his touch is poor. And it's taken off him there by Adingra. And Veltman slide tackles Salah. And Brighton are now in possession of the ball. And it's a free kick for Brighton. Midway side their own half. Pascal Gross caught late there. Big chance on the counter for Liverpool. As Diaz just couldn't quite keep the ball under his control. Because Nunez was racing away. And as he was turning in towards the Liverpool left to look for the pass, his touch just got away from him and he was tackled by Adingra. That's with Brighton in their 18-yard box with Verbruggen. Forward to Gross. Back to Verbruggen once again. Clips it out to the left. Finds Estepinian. Plays it forward. Looking for Welbeck. Cut out though by Bradley. As he goes down the line here for Salah. In the final third now. Bradley's making a run forward. He goes to McAllister on the edge of the area instead. Back through for Salah in the box. Through for Bradley, who keeps it in. Lifts it towards Nunez. It deflects. He kicks it towards goal. And it's saved by Verbruggen. Drops to the far post here where Szoboszlai puts it back in. To the edge of the box. To McAllister, who wants to shoot. Can't shoot. Backs now to goal. And he's surrounded by blue and white shirts. He's taken off him by Gross, who kicks it forward for Welbeck. And Brighton look to break because he can't find Adingra. Deflects towards Lamptey, who's caught Gomez late. And that'll be a free kick for Liverpool, just inside their own half. Once again, Brighton looking dangerous on the break. Salah played it through for Bradley. His ball to Nunez was dealt with by Dunk momentarily, but it fell back to Nunez, who just kicked it towards goal, and it almost went through the legs of Verbruggen. As Liverpool's in again with a shot over the bar by Conor Bradley. And Liverpool have had a ridiculous amount of shots in this first half, but they've only got one to their name in terms of a goal so far. As when you get to the business points of the season, sometimes a point isn't enough. And possibly for Liverpool, come the end of the season, a draw here might not be enough. Especially in a fortress like Anfield, you want to be winning all your home games. As Van Hecke goes long here, Welbeck gives chase down the Brighton right. He'll beat Quansah to it. It's now Welbeck holding the ball up, driving inside, away from Diaz, tripped by Diaz from behind. Nothing given according to the referee. And Liverpool go again. McAllister this time over the top. What a ball that is for Salah. And he can't quite control it. Verbruggen's come out and he has to just palm the ball away. And it'll roll out for a Liverpool throw-in on the far side. His passing's been on it today. Alexis McAllister. Finding so many of those balls in behind the Brighton defence. It's McAllister on the ball in the centre circle. Lays it off to the halfway line here to Quansah. Out to the right to Bradley. Got loads of time on the ball here. Not being pressed here, Conor Bradley. It's now into Endo. Forward to Gomez, who's got into a central midfield position here. Lays it off to his right to Quansah. Back into his left to Endo. All Brighton players currently behind the ball. There's Van Dijk has it. To Endo again, who's sat in between the two centre-backs. Quansah to the far side here to Bradley. Midway side the Brighton half. He goes back to Quansah. It's to Endo again. Looking for the next available pass here. As he finds Gomez. Tackled by Lamptey. One back by Diaz as Lamptey's pass short to Veltman. Diaz now has it. On the right foot, plays it across here to McAllister in the central area for Liverpool. Now to his right to Szoboszlai, who can hit them from here, but he goes to Salah instead on the edge of the box. He turns and is not tripped. He's dispossessed, and McAllister then will let fly from the loose ball. That's blocked. It drops to Bradley on the right-hand side for Liverpool. And it'll be Liverpool to come at Brighton once again, as I think the away side just once again at half-time here at 1-1. But Brighton will also understand that they will have opportunities on the break here, as Liverpool are pushing up forward. It's with Van Dijk, just in front of the halfway line. Goes out to the left to Szoboszlai, Liverpool's number 8. Gomez back out to Szoboszlai on the left. It's with Van Dijk. 5 minutes of the first half left to play. Van Dijk lifts it into the box. Headed down by Van Hecker to Veltman. His touch gets away from him and Endo takes over. Squares it. It goes behind Nunez. Cleared by Gross. Through here to Murder, who gets away from the slide challenger Quansah. It's now over Dingra. Crosses the halfway line. He's got Lamptey on the switch here. It's Estepinian instead on the ball, who then switches out to Lamptey on the right. Veltman's getting forward for Brighton. He goes inside to Baleba instead. Back out to Tariq Lamptey, and then back into the Brighton half there to Van Hecker. Looked like a possible counter-attack could have been on there for the away side, but Liverpool got bodies back and Brighton couldn't quite work anything dangerous enough in time. Van Hecker into Baleba. It's now with Dunk midway inside his own half. Has scored here previously, Lewis Dunk. As Adingra looks for the run of Estepinian down the left. It's nowhere near the Ecuadorian, and it's picked up by Quansah for Liverpool in the defensive third. And it'll be Liverpool to bring it forward on the edge of the 18-yard box with Endo. Goes to his right to Quansah. And that was back into Endo. Once again, just one defeat though for Liverpool in their last 21 Premier League games. That was away at the Emirates back in early February. They've only lost twice all season, both in North London, to Spurs and Arsenal. I'd like to know Liverpool's XG, because the highest XG they've had this season was 7 against Newcastle on New Year's Day. Only scored 4 that day, as Endo dinks it in towards the 18-yard box, headed down by Baleba, straight to McAllister, who takes on the shot, blocked by Van Hecker, and it'll roll out for a for a Liverpool corner on this near side. Something in McAllister today. He's on it against his former side. Szoboszlai goes short into McAllister in the corner of the box on the left-hand side. He crosses it to the far post here towards Van Dijk. It's a header away, though, by Jakob Murder for Brighton, and Gross will help it away with his left foot, but he slices it out of touch, and it'll be a Liverpool throw-in. Still in the Brighton half here. Endo takes it quickly, throwing it to the halfway line here to Gomez. 2.5 minutes left to play of this first half. McAllister forward for Diaz, through for Salah, takes a touch on the edge of the box, finds a bit of space and tries to find the pass through for Szoboszlai, cut out by Van Hecker. Veltman then tripped by Gomez, and that'll be a free kick for Brighton. Less than 2 minutes left to play in this first half. Dunk on the edge of the box, lifts it forward towards the Brighton left, controlled by Welbeck, looks for Estepinian, it's a very short pass. Salah intercepts, and he goes all the way back to Kelleher, midway inside the Liverpool half. And Kelleher goes forward to McAllister, back into Kelleher once again. And Quansah, big switch out towards the left, it's a high ball up for Diaz, who can head it on for Szoboszlai. Touch forward, can't quite reach Diaz, and Szoboszlai pulls down Baleba on the edge of the box. And that'll be a free kick for Brighton, who do look like they'll be going in at the break at 1-1. It's Brighton's last game before the international break. Was the 1-0 win against Roma at home in the Europa League. Obviously wasn't enough to overturn the 4-0 deficit. of the first leg, but it was a 1-0 win with Welbeck scoring a beauty in that one as well. Back-to-back screamers for Danny Welbeck. As Brighton play out from the back, it's on the far side here with Estepinian at left back. Finds Dunk forward to Gross. Back into Dunk in the 18-yard box. Bit of time on the ball. Plays a pass forward to Belabba, who turns nicely away from Szoboszlai. And then through here for Murder in the centre circle. He's looking out to the Brighton left. It's work towards Adingra. He'll go back to Estepinian. On the halfway line, Estepinian been forced to go backwards here by Diaz. Instead goes inside to his right to Gross. And then pulled down by Diaz there. Pascal Gross. And that'll be a free kick for Brighton. As we've hit the 45th minute here at Anfield, as it's 4 minutes of added on time. Estepinian down the Brighton left. Adingra's made a run. Can't quite play it towards him. Keeps it himself and then kicks it off McAllister. And it's a throw in midway side of the Liverpool half for Brighton on the far side. Thrown into Belabba. Then Estepinian goes to the halfway line here to Van Hecke. Time on the ball in the centre circle. Leaves it for Gross, who's just a couple of yards away from him. Then Gross goes out to the left here looking for Welbeck. Headed on by Bradley to Welbeck, who controls it towards the corner flag and then overhits the touch. And it's out of play. Goal kick for Liverpool. It's Kelleher on the penalty spot. Plays it forward outside the area here to Endo. Forward towards Diaz, who pokes it through and behind for Nunez to chase it. But it will go through here for Verbruggen in the Brighton goal in an all-yellow strip for Brighton this afternoon, who have won their last 2 games in a row. Winning, of course, against Roma, but their last league win and their last league game was a 1-0 home win to Nottingham Forest. A own goal from Omar Bamadeli for Forest in the 29th minute was enough for Brighton to get all 3 points. There's a Murder, kicks the ball out of play here on the near side. It's a throw in for Liverpool. Szoboszlai quickly throws it across to McAllister. Lifts it forward for Diaz, who took up a central area, and he gets away from Belabba and from Gross. And plays it back into McAllister. He's tackled there fairly by Murder. Welbeck needs to hold it up, and he's brought down there by Endo. And that'll be a free kick for Brighton. He's had a really good first half. Danny Welbeck, not just his goal, but his overall hold-up play and striker play has really helped Brighton in this half when they've got it forward. There is Roberto De Zerbi taking charge of his 80th Brighton game. 37 wins, 25 defeats. Didn't win any of his first 5 games, including that 3-3 draw here in his first one. As Brighton tries to go in behind there for Adingra. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. Well seen behind there by Liverpool's number 84 of Connor Bradley, who's currently covering for the injured Alexander-Arnold. As it's Kelleher with it. 90 seconds left of the first half here. It's with the right centre half of Quansah, who brings the ball forward. Finds Endo. Out to the left on halfway line to Gomez. Brings it forward. Down the line looking for Szoboszlai. Cut out by Veltman. And Gomez is out of position here as Veltman brings it forward. He's brought down and it's another foul given. Diaz this time. Coming back, having to do some defensive work. As Veltman was away. Tried to chop backwards there, Veltman, but was brought to the ground by the Colombian winger. So it's on the right-hand side here, about 40 yards from goal. But it's a really nice area for Gross to get this ball into the 18-yard box. Liverpool got a high line, about 5 yards outside the 18-yard box. Brighton just need to time their runs if possible. As Gross put the ball in, but the referee wasn't happy for play to start. There was a bit of pushing and shoving between Van Dijk and Van Hecke, the 2 Dutch centre-backs. So we're about to hit the 4th minute of added on time. Brighton, of course, will have time to take this free kick. They've got one of the best creative players in the league on it, in Pascal Gross, with his 10 Premier League assists he's already got this season. If he can get this cross right, this could be an issue for Liverpool right before the break. Gross puts it in there. It's a header won by McAllister. Bit of a waste, and that's where the half-time whistle is blown by David Coop. And we got off to a rapid start here at Anfield as Liverpool as Brighton took a lead within 90 seconds. It was Danny Welbeck firing it into the top right corner from the edge of the box to score his 4th Premier League goal of the season. And it was a goal on his 100th Brighton Premier League appearance. But since the goal, it's been all Liverpool in terms of chances. They've worked 14 shots on goal with 4 on target. And they eventually broke through in the 27th minute through Luis Diaz, who gets his 2nd goal against Brighton, his first against them here at Anfield. And it was after a ball headed forward on the edge of the box by Salah. It deflected through towards goal off Veltman, perfectly into the path of Luis Diaz, who swung a right boot at it. It went over for Bruggen into the top left corner from 6 yards out, and it gave Liverpool their equaliser, which currently puts them top of the league by a point. They'll be looking for all 3 in the second half, but at the moment, after the first half of 49 minutes played, they have to settle for a point for now as they look for all 3 as they're here at the moment at Anfield at half time. And it is Liverpool 1, Brighton 1. It's been a very dominant Liverpool half, we must say, but Brighton have looked really dangerous on the break, in my opinion. Every time they go forward, it looks like they could score. Simon Adingra on the left wings look really good. Danny Welbeck's had a really good game as well up front. A bit isolated at times, which is making his performance even more impressive. Sorry if you can hear that noise. That is ridiculous. But Liverpool just need to try and keep doing what they're doing. I do apologise. I'll be back just in a minute. I do apologise for that. But, yeah, we are here at half-time. Of course, Manchester City take on Arsenal at half-4, which is a huge game. And as if we look at the table, as it stands now, with Liverpool drawing, and by the way, this will be Liverpool's 8th draw of the season in the league. That's pretty heavy numbers for Liverpool. They did draw 10 last season as well, so it's not something new for Liverpool, drawing quite a lot of games. But as it stands, with Liverpool on 65 points, if Manchester City were to win, they would go top. City are currently in 3rd, but a win, as it stands, with Liverpool drawing, would put Manchester City 1st. And for Arsenal, if Liverpool draw, Arsenal drawing themselves would be enough to keep them top. They would go top on goal difference. So, again, it's still very much all to play for in this game, and that will have a knock-on effect on the next game because both Manchester City and Arsenal will be able to see what results would do what for them, what would a win do for them, what would a draw do, where would they end up, and everything like that. So it's definitely... I think there's a lot on this game, and I think that'll have a lot of effect on the Manchester City-Arsenal game. Because if you see Liverpool dropping points, for me that'd be a boost. That'd be go, you know what, we're going to go out and win. We're going to make the most of Liverpool dropping points. We're going to make them drop points as well. So I think for Arsenal, I think they've got to maybe be a bit more careful being away from home. But for Manchester City, at home, a place where they're usually really consistent at, if I see Liverpool drop points, and Manchester City, I think we're going for this. Liverpool drop points, let's make Arsenal drop points. Let's get to the top of the league. And usually when we get to this end of the season, when Manchester City get to the top of the league, they don't usually fall out of the top of the league. They usually stay there. And for Arsenal, I think if they see Liverpool drop points, they must use that as a confidence boost to go, you know what? This puts more emphasis on getting a result here at the Etihad. So I just like the way that this game, the Liverpool-Brighton game's gone first, because I think it really sets up the Manchester City-Arsenal game, because it can bring a lot of different factors into the game at the Etihad. But Welbeck with that goal in the second minute, Salah was the one who gave it away, but then it was really well worked down the Brighton left with Estepinian finding the Dingra inside his own half on the far side, just dribbled all the way into the 18-yard box of Dingra, or just to the edge of it, pulled it across for Welbeck, it deflected off Szoboszlai, then came off Van Dijk, straight to Welbeck, who just latched onto it and powered it into the top right corner. It was an unbelievable finish from the 33-year-old. And that was his 25th Brighton goal of his career. He's been at Brighton since the summer of 2020. So he's been here quite a while now. Danny Welbeck. Then the Diaz equaliser came from a corner from Szoboszlai, headed away originally by Dunk, but straight to Salah on the edge of the box. He headed it forward, and then it was put towards goal by Veltman. Obviously, his clearance was probably meant to go away from goal, but instead Veltman, with his outswinging left boot, sent it towards his own goal, and then Diaz was on it to latch onto it on the 6-yard line. Really good forward play from Diaz to make the run towards goal, to anticipate a possible Brighton error, and that's why that separates the good and the amazing forwards. Diaz having that instinctive nature to know to try and read a mistake if one is made, and he read that one really well and finished into the top left corner. Luis Diaz scoring his 15th Premier League goal of his career. It's his 7th for this season. He got 4 last season, but was injured for a lot of the season with a knee problem. Luis Diaz. As I don't know if it's right, but I think I have some early Manchester City team news. Half an hour before it's announced, it looks like, again, I'm not going to give away the source, but it looks like it's going to be Ortega in goal, Ederson not yet back from injury, Akanji, Diaz, Gvardiol, Ake, Rodri, Kovacic, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Haaland and Foden. Bit of early team news there. I don't know if that will be right, but if it is, you heard it here first. So, no Ederson for Manchester City, no Kyle Walker, no John Stones, both injured on international duty with England, and that'll be a big, big, big bonus for Arsenal and for Liverpool in terms of Manchester City title running if they do lose Kyle Walker and John Stones for an extended period of time. But the second half of this game will be getting underway in a couple of minutes' time. As the Arsenal women side are currently taking on Chelsea in the Conti Cup, or League Cup final at Molineux. So some silverware for the Arsenal women's side to possibly win. As Emma Hayes is going on for a quadruple at the moment at Chelsea. In her last season, she's moving on to take on the USA national team job after over a decade at Chelsea. But our focus here is on the Liverpool-Brighton game. As for Brighton, this would take them into 10 draws for the season in the Premier League. Their last draw away from home was at the start of January against West Ham in a 0-0 draw. This one's obviously got goals. as we did commentate on that one, that West Ham Brighton 0-0 draw wasn't the greatest game I've ever seen, I must admit. I don't think we'll get any changes at half time. Again, I'm not Klopp and I'm not De Zerbi, so I don't know for sure. But can't see either of the two teams making changes, because I think Klopp will be happy with the way his team played in that first half going forward anyway. I think defensively they looked a little bit vulnerable at times, but going forward they created so many opportunities. And for Brighton, I thought they had a good first half there. I think it was a little bit unfortunate how they conceded the goal, with Veltman deflecting the ball towards his own goal instead of away from it. But they have conceded a lot of shots from Liverpool. Liverpool have had 14 shots in this game, half of them from Mohamed Salah. So they're quite lucky today that Mohamed Salah's at the moment having a little bit of an off day. Mohamed Salah, he's got 21 goals for the season in all competitions. He scored 30 in all competitions last season, Salah, now at the age of 31, turning 32 in June. So he's definitely not getting any younger, Mohamed Salah. As obviously the Saudi Arabian clubs were after him in the summer, but Liverpool said no. But they might be in for a little bit of a rebuild, Liverpool, of course, with the likes of Jurgen Klopp leaving. I know Alexander-Arnold's contract's out at the end of next season. You know, Van Dijk also at the age of 32 himself, Salah 31. So he's definitely becoming... There's definitely those key Liverpool players are certainly getting older. Obviously, they've done a pretty decent rebuild during Klopp's last couple of years, bringing in the likes of Bradley and Quansah from their academy, then signing the likes of McAllister, who's 25, Szoboszlai 23, Nunez 24, Harvey Elliott now just a regular in the first team at 20. He was obviously brought in from Fulham just under 4 years ago now. So they definitely don't have a lot of older players. That might be something they have to bring in. Bring in some more experience once the likes of Van Dijk and Salah leave. So, here at Anfield, it's still all to play for, as Brighton themselves are trying to get back into the European spots. Liverpool do have themselves top of the league at the moment, but just by a point, which probably isn't enough for them at this point in the season, with Manchester City and Arsenal right behind them on their tails, playing well. You must add as well, Arsenal are on a run of Premier League wins. Manchester City also full of confidence after reaching the FA Cup semi-final. As when the team news is announced from the Etihad, I'll bring that to you all. The second half is coming up next. I feel like this has been the longest 15 minutes ever, waiting for the second half to get underway. But I think for Liverpool, they've definitely got to just forget that Manchester United defeat, and I think they've done that. They don't look that bothered about it. I know they went behind early, but they've played really well in the first half in terms of creating chances. Liverpool, but they were 22 games unbeaten before that defeat to Manchester United. So it's definitely just a tiny little blip there for Liverpool to lose that match, because they simply don't lose very often, and they haven't lost here at Anfield since February 2023. Nunez did come close as well before the end of the half, almost putting it through the legs of Verbruggen, but it was a good reflex save there by Brighton's number one to stop the ball going in. It almost went through his legs. It's not far away, that at all. as we're going to immediately get back underway. Thanks for the warning, Sky Sports. So it'll be Liverpool kicking towards the Kop, kicking left to right, Brighton right to left towards their away support. As it's McAllister to get us underway. Back to Quansah, who sends it diagonally out to the left, headed forward by Van Hecke. Controlled by McAllister over the top for Diaz in the box. It's going to just roll out, though, for a goal kick for Brighton. Almost an instant chance there for Liverpool at the start of this second half. As this is one of 5 home games left for Klopp in the Premier League. Could have a few more on top of that if they progress through to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Brighton try and play out from the back. It's played forward by Van Dijk. Salah tackled by Dunk. McAllister now has it in the area. Surrounded again by Brighton shirts and it can be taken off him. But Murders past to Lamptey isn't good enough. Gomez takes it off him. It's now with Liverpool. All Brighton players behind the ball. And it's with Wataru Endo in the middle of the park. Playing it out to the right here to Quansah. In towards the 18-yard box. Cleared by Dunk. Up towards Murder. Header won by Van Dijk. Towards Salah. Controlled by Estepinian. McAllister tackles Gross but falls to Dunk, who goes forward here to Murder. Adingra's away on the left. He stayed on side. Murder's tried to play it towards him. It comes off the top of the head of Quansah, but Adingra's still chasing it. But Quansah will deal with it. Really good defending from the 21-year-old. Murder's pass could have and probably should have been better for Adingra, who was away on the Brighton left. Again, showing how dangerous Brighton are on the counter-attack today. They've had that constant threat on the break, and they've not really done anything with the counter-attacks. But the problems are there for Liverpool. It's McAllister just about gets it forward for Salah, taken off him by Estepinian, midway side of the Brighton half. It's now a Lamptey to Murder, who can't quite keep it away from Gomez on halfway. It's now out to the Liverpool left here to Luis Diaz, the Liverpool goal scorer. Just under 2 minutes in here at Anfield. It's another quick start in this game. Bradley brings it inside from fullback. Midway side the Brighton half. Goes behind him here to Endo. Then out to the left to Diaz. 1-2 with Szoboszlai. Diaz into Gomez, whose touch gets away from him. He's tackled by Murder fairly. And Murder then roulettes beyond Szoboszlai. Good bit of skill by the Brighton number 15. And he gets he had got away from Gomez momentarily. But was tripped by Liverpool's number 2. And that'll be a Brighton free kick. Also a decent performer. Again, today, Jakob Murder on his 50th Premier League appearance. As mentioned before, he spent 19 months out of an ACL injury, only returned in November of last year, making his 10th Premier League appearance of the season. It's just his second start in the league this season. They're back-to-back starts for Murder, as he started the home win against Forest before the international break. As someone for Brighton's been booked here. I think Danny Welbeck's been booked. Not quite sure why. I really don't know why Danny Welbeck's been booked. He seems bemused. But Danny Welbeck's been booked, probably for something he said to the referee. I'm not sure what he was saying to the referee. As we're back underway from the Brighton free kick. Murder loses out to Van Dijk, taken over by Diaz. 10 yards inside the Brighton half. Diaz in the central area, looking for the next pass. Just goes to his right here to McAllister. Back forward for Diaz, who takes it forward. And then from afar he lets fly and he doesn't quite catch it. Always curling away from goal. And it's a goal kick for Brighton. Verbruggen on the ball. Being closed down by Nunez. Gross out to the right centre-back of Van Hecke. Then forward to Baleba. Really well worked that from Brighton. It's risky, but when it works, it gets you away. And Baleba is away. Pulled down by Van Dijk. Free kick on the halfway line. And it'll be a yellow card for Van Dijk. Only ever been sent off once for Liverpool, and that was this season, away at Newcastle. That's a booking for Liverpool's captain. Just keeping a hold of Baleba, Brighton's number 20, as he was bringing the ball forward. Yeah, just a grab of the neck there, actually, from Van Dijk. Free kick and a yellow card for the Seagulls. Just his second booking of the season as well for Van Dijk in the league. As Brighton on the halfway line, have it with Van Hecke. across to Dunk. Out to the left here to Estepinian. On the halfway line, he's got Salah in support. He's not supporting him, Salah, he's closing him down. He goes back to Dunk, then over the top for a Dingra, collected by Kelleher in the 18-yard box. A Dingra was being followed all the way there by Bradley, but it was well dealt with by Kelleher to just take out any danger in that attack. And by the way, what I think is absolutely ridiculous, I know we're in late March going into April, but in 47 games now in all competitions for Liverpool, they've scored 121 goals. That is absolutely ridiculous. To score that many goals in 47 games already is just seriously impressive. They've conceded 51, but to score 121, that is just incredible. They've actually conceded 52 now, if you include Brighton's goal today. But to score that many goals, 65 of them, by the way, in the Premier League. So that shows you how many goals they've scored in the Europa League and the FA Cup run that they were on and the League Cup run they went on to win that competition. So many goals for Liverpool. There's a Brighton throw in a right back position as Veltman tries to play it down the line, but he slices it out of touch for a Liverpool throw-in. Maybe a bit of nerves there from Veltman. Usually a calm head in the defence for Brighton, the former Ajax defender. Just the one defeat against Liverpool for Joel Veltman since joining for just under £1 million in the July of 2020. Making his third start in a row in the league, Veltman, 12 altogether this season. As on the halfway line, it's with Gomez for Liverpool, still searching for his first Liverpool goal. I know he's the defender, but to not score in 215 appearances now for Liverpool is a little bit scary. I feel like as a defender he should have at least popped up with a goal or two by now. As McAllister touches it through for Salah, who's almost in the striker position, and then goes out to the left here to Nunez, who's running into the 18-yard box. Outside the area, he plays it across now to Bradley, who will let fly. It's blocked by Stepinian. Verbruggen comes to collect. Really good goalkeeping there. Not the greatest of strikes from Bradley, even if it had gone through the block. I think it would have been an easy save for Verbruggen. Throws it straight to Gomez. Now Nunez on the edge of the area. From that left wing position, tackled by Baleba. Drops to Murder. And it's now with Terry Lamptey in a right wing position for Brighton. He'll charge away. He's got Endo following him. And Endo will take it off him. That's brilliant from Endo. It really is. And he plays it inside to Szoboszlai. So good. Met by a huge round of applause from the Anfield faithful there. That's so good midfield work, that, from Endo. As Lamptey can get away. He's got pace, Lamptey, despite all of his knee and hamstring injuries. He can still get away. As Szoboszlai slips it through for Salah, taken off him by Estepinian, and Szoboszlai slices a volley out to the left to Nunez, who was onside. One-on-one here with Veltman. Nunez plays it back instead here to Gomez. He's got a bit of time on the ball to cross it in towards McAllister, who heads on towards the bottom right corner, and it's just a yard or so wide. Not a bad attempt at all there by Alexis McAllister. Good crossing from Joe Gomez. We were talking about how he's never scored for Liverpool, but he almost provided an assist for one. Really good in-swinging cross from Gomez and almost put in by McAllister. As Brighton go long up here towards Welbeck, touched away from him by Endo. Van Dijk keeps it away from Murder. And it's now with Conor Bradley on the halfway line, on the near side for Liverpool. Brings it forward. He's got options to left and right. Finds McAllister, who brings it forward, 25 yards out, into the edge of the box to Nunez. Keeps it away from Van Hecke. Finds Diaz in the left wing position. In the box. Diaz onto his right foot. Wants to shoot. Lifts it to the far post. Instead to Mohamed Salah. It's just gone over him. And behind for a goal kick. Liverpool starting to get back in their flow again after the half-time break. That time it was Diaz with the cross. And it was Salah trying to get onto the end of it. Just too high for him. As Brighton play it forward through Verbruggen to Welbeck, tripped on the edge of the box by Endo. But the advantage has been played here. There's a Dingra tackled there by Quansah. And then McAllister to Salah in the area. Welbeck's closest to him. Salah twisting and turning, going down, and nothing given there. Salah, like always, going down too easily. I mean, I have the utmost respect for Mohamed Salah as an attacking player, because his goal-scoring record as a winger is absolutely ridiculous. It is just stupid. But the way he throws himself to the floor at times, it's embarrassing. The minimal contact there by Dunk, and he threw himself to the ground. As Brighton play down the left here with Adingra. Back to the Liverpool goal as Adingra's kicked it off Van Dijk. And that'll be a throw-in for Brighton, just inside their own half on the near side. 10 minutes into the second half. It's still all level here. 1-1. Verbruggen for Brighton in the 18-yard box. Goes to his left to Dunk. Then to the left back of Estepinian, who is allowed to bring this ball forward. And goes for a big switch out towards Lamptey on the right. Chested away by Gomez and played into Van Dijk in the centre circle. Bit of a waste there by Estepinian as Van Dijk's pass cannons off the head of Endo. Falls here for Adingra, who can keep it away from Bradley at the moment. And it's now with Estepinian on halfway. Goes to his right to Gross. It's a bit of a cheat way for Liverpool to give possession. Don't think it was meant by Van Dijk to hit Endo on the head. As Baleba tripped in the centre circle. Free kick for Brighton. Playing well so far. Carlos Baleba, who's also making his third start in a row in the Premier League. Yet to score a professional goal in his career, Carlos Baleba, who is more of a holding midfielder, turns 21 next month. As Estepinian crosses it into the box, it bounces around. It's headed away by Van Dijk straight to Estepinian, who wants the 1-2 with Welbeck. It drops to Baleba. We're just talking about how he hasn't scored a professional goal. He's just had a shot from about 30 yards out of his left foot. And I think it's gone in the newsstand for Liverpool. That's how high that one went. I think there's a reason why Carlos Baleba is yet to score in his professional career for shooting like that so far over the crossbar. And Liverpool can play out from the back with their goalkeeper of Kelleher. 25 years of age now, Kelleher. And with him getting a run in the first team here for Liverpool, I'm sure he'll get a taste for it. And I'd be interested to see if Kelleher sticks around at Liverpool for any longer, because he's definitely a first team goalkeeper. That's the quality he's got. But he's definitely done more than enough as a backup for Liverpool. Coming up to 9 years at the club now as well for Queevy and Kelleher. As Liverpool win a corner here on the near side, Szoboszlai's cross was deflected away. And it'll be Szoboszlai now to put in the resulting corner. Of course, Van Dijk is up there. Scored from a header and a cross and a corner in the League Cup final, late on in extra time. How they could do with another goal from him now. Szoboszlai crosses, headed away by Van Hecker, played forward by Adingra, deflects back to him off Bradley, then plays it out to the left here to Lamptey. Tackled by Gomez, that's a late one. And that will be a yellow card for Gomez, no complaints from Liverpool's number 2. Trying to get away on the break there, Brighton. Lamptey just beat Gomez to it and took him out. Rightly given free kick and a yellow card by today's referee of David Coote. That's Brighton out to the left here to Adingra. Lifts it over the head of Bradley, but then volleyed into the air by Quansah. And it's up towards Estepinian, who plays it down the line for Adingra, who's coming back from an offside position. Free kick for Liverpool in a right back position, which has been taken quickly by Bradley here to Jarell Quansah, who has it on the edge of the Liverpool 18-yard box. Brighton not pressing him, just sitting in their shape. It's Quansah, still on the ball. He sees a ball out to the left here. It's a great ball as well. Good control by Gomez, just inside the Brighton half. Switches it himself into the box towards Núñez at the far post. Easy catch for Verbruggen. Not a bad idea from Gomez, but Verbruggen read it well. It's now with Brighton halfway inside their own half here with Pascal Gross bringing it out towards the left-hand side here to Estepinian. Forward for Welbeck. Tries to go through the legs of Salah. Last touch off the Egyptian, and it will be a throw-in for Brighton. Just over half an hour left. The real clear-cut Liverpool chances have dried up slightly in this second half. As Estepinian shoved to the ground, but the referee doesn't see it as a foul. Szoboszlai for Núñez, through for Salah. What a slide challenge that is from Baleba. In the left-back position, covering for Estepinian, who plays it for Murder, who controls it nicely, and plays it in behind here for Adingra. Down the left-hand side, Quansah's the one chasing it down. Quansah will get there first, takes it towards the corner flag, and clears it down the line for Bradley, who then gets it away from Welbeck, And then McAllister tackled by Murder unfairly according to the referee. And that'll be a free kick for Liverpool, almost getting Liverpool caught on the break. As we have got half an hour left to play, still 1-1. Salah loses out there to Adingra. He wants the free kick and he'll never get that on any day of the week. Adingra out to the left into Pascal Gross in a left wing position in the final third. He's got Lamptey behind him. Finds Lamptey. Liverpool got plenty of bodies back now. And then Lamptey's forced back to the halfway line to dunk. Again, the counter-attack simmers, but Brighton do have possession now. Van Hecker into the space for Veltman on the right wing here. He's got Gomez in front of him. Veltman keeps it in. Goes backwards here to Murder. Then back once more now to Van Hecker. Now a dunk in the centre circle. Time on the ball here for the Brighton-born captain. Van Hecker switches it out to the left here. Controlled by Adingra. As Stepinian overlaps. He tries to lift it in behind for him in the box. It'll be Van Dijk to get there first. Plays it into Bradley, who chests it down. Plays it down the line. Can't quite find Nunez. Drops to Gross instead. Brighton lose out though with Quansah clearing. Salah beaten to it by Dunk. Bradley hooks it over his head into the sky here. There to be won. Where it's Endo to flick it up. And it finds Salah, who's can turn forward and play it out to the right to Nunez. He'll keep it in here, the Uruguayan. Running at Lewis Dunk. In the corner of the box on the right hand side. Nunez charging forward towards the byline. Good defending here by Dunk, forcing Nunez to go backwards here to Connor Bradley. But the attack continues for Liverpool. McAllister, time on the edge of the area. As he plays it back here to Diaz. Again, surrounded by blue shirts. He's been forced backwards himself to Endo. Then out to the right to Quansah. Bradley in the final third. Adingra is back helping Brighton defend. It's now with Quansah. McAllister looking for the ball in behind for Bradley. They find him. Bradley squares it and it's come off Van Hecker. Cleared away. Falls to Gross, who goes down over the challenger McAllister too easily. And Liverpool can go again. With McAllister in the right wing position. Down the line for Szoboszlai. Big chance that for Liverpool. The cut back from Bradley wasn't great. Straight to Van Hecker. Nowhere near a red shirt. As the Liverpool restart on halfway with Van Dijk receiving the ball from Szoboszlai. And he goes back out to the right here to Szoboszlai. Nunez is in the box there. As Szoboszlai's going to go for the strike from afar. And that is not far wide of the far corner. We do really know that Szoboszlai can hit them from that range. We've seen it already from him in the Liverpool shirt. And from around 25 yards out. You know, that's a position we've seen Steven Gerrard score some beauties from in that number 8 shirt. But that one from Szoboszlai. It's just gone wide. It had Verbruggen diving. And it had him worried. But Brighton survive. As it's Gomez picking it up on the halfway line as Veltman was looking for Murder. Now Endo forward to Szoboszlai. Keeps it away from Gross. Szoboszlai charging forward into the box to Nunez on the left-hand side. Chops back. Strikes it. Big save from Verbruggen at the near post. And cleared away by Jakob Murder for Brighton. First big chance in a long time, that for Liverpool. Nunez not being able to beat Bart Verbruggen in the Brighton goal. Never scored against Brighton. Darwin Nunez. That could have been his first. As Liverpool have to restart on halfway here with Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool had won 4 home games in a row in the league before drawing to Manchester City last time out. If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Got another commentary coming tomorrow to finish off the Easter weekend. Leeds United taking on Hull City in the Championship as that title race and the spots for the automatic promotion in the Championship is really heating up. And then we're covering Liverpool again at Anfield on Thursday when they take on Sheffield United at home as Salah's been fed through by McAllister. He is onside and that goal will stand. Liverpool finally have a lead here at Anfield. And Mohamed Salah, who's almost in double figures for shots in this game, has finally got a goal. He scored twice against Brighton in the reverse game at the Amex. He scored here again at Anfield. It's his 9th goal against Brighton in his career. And Alexis McAllister, against his former club today, he's just had that extra bit of intent in his play. It just seems like he really wants it today, McAllister. And as he got the ball from the wide area from Szoboszlai, he saw that Salah was available. Van Hecke sitting so deep for Brighton. Why on earth is he so deep? I do not know. Salah well onside, about 8 yards out from that angle in the right wing position. Just curling it to the far post. How many times have we seen him finish a shot like that? No chance this time for Verbruggen. Brighton trail, Liverpool lead, 25 minutes to play. And it's Liverpool 2, Brighton 1. Patient that from Liverpool. It was well worked. Good pass from McAllister. Just no idea why Van Hecke sat so deep and playing Salah onside. As Brighton want an equaliser straight away. Lamptey crosses, headed into the air by Bradley, still in the 18-yard box. Zendo heads away, falls to Beleba, who shoots off McAllister. And it's back with Van Hecke as Brighton will try and look for another chance for an equaliser here. Estepinan's got a dinger in front of him. Estepinan crosses himself. It's an overhit one. Headed away, though, by Gomez. Straight to Diaz on the edge of the box, who can flick it forward for Szoboszlai and then gets the return. Diaz challenging away down the left-hand side. Finding Nunez, who holds up the ball. Goes inside to Szoboszlai. Then out wide to Diaz. This is a really silky move from Liverpool. It's back to Szoboszlai in the box. Trying to poke it through for Diaz, who will get there, but it's deflected off Van Hecke. Corner kick for Liverpool as they want that 2-goal cushion if possible. You can't say Liverpool haven't deserved this lead. They've been at it all day in terms of their attacking. 22 shots for Liverpool, 5 on target. That's been their main issue. Not getting enough shots on target. As they've got a corner here, it'll be a right-footed in-swinger from the far side with Dominik Szoboszlai. And there'll be Szoboszlai, the Hungarian, to cross it in towards the near post. It's gone all the way through to Dunk, who volleys away back to Szoboszlai, who will recycle the ball in the box. Crosses in, headed towards goal by Beleba. It hits the roof of the net. Almost an own goal there by Carlos Beleba. And it goes behind for another Liverpool corner. Beleba heading it away from Quansah and almost heading it into his own goal there. Got away with that one. The young Cameroon midfielder. It'll be Szoboszlai to put it in again. As we're having a pause at the moment. David Coote retreating one of the match balls and rolling them away. I don't know what on earth he's doing there. Dunk's having a word with him. But with a quarter of the game left to play, Liverpool want a third. This puts them top of the table by 3 points. Szoboszlai puts it to the far post. Salah's all alone, lifts it to the far post himself, but it's caught by Verbruggen. Good goalkeeping there. And they could try and counter here because Van Dijk's up out of position. Instead, he rolls it out to the edge of the box to Gross, as Brighton will start from the back. Gross goes backwards to Dunk to keep it away from Nunez. Now with Beleba into Van Hecke. It's not been a awful Brighton performance, but I don't think they deserve to be level. I don't think they've done enough for that. I think Liverpool do deserve their lead, as Verbruggen has to hurry a clearance out of play as the back pass was slightly short from Dunk, and he also slipped there, Verbruggen, as he's being closed down by Szoboszlai. So Liverpool thrown inside the Brighton half on this near side, as it's going to be a change for Brighton. First change of the game, which is rare. 69 minutes in. Tariq Lamptey, Brighton's number 2, will come off here for Facundo Buonanotte, the Argentine midfielder, who did feature for Argentina in the recent international break. The 19-year-old, who's coming on for his 20th Premier League appearance of the season. He scored 2 in his last 5 that he's played in the league. Facundo Buonanotte had started 8 games in a row before being on the bench for the last 3, Buonanotte, but They need him to make a difference off the bench this time around. As Dunk in the 18-yard box, plays it forward, straight to Szoboszlai for Liverpool, who chests it forward, and then it's misplaced towards Diaz. It's now with Buonanotte in the middle of the park. Pulled back there by Endo. Free kick for Brighton. Taken quickly out to the left here to Estepinian, who enters the Liverpool half. Slips on the ball, but keeps it away from Salah. And now it's into Pascal Gross. Welbeck, away from Endo. Forward to Murder. Completes the 1-2, but Welbeck slips and it gets away from him and it falls to Nunez, who's now in the Brighton half and he's charging forward. He's got Salah to his right. Tackle by Van Hecke. That will be a foul, but continue. Play will as it's Diaz through the legs of Verbruggen. It's an assist for Salah. It's a goal for Liverpool and that will be all 3 points. And the flag's gone up. The flag is up. Spares the blushes of the goalkeeper Verbruggen, who somehow let that shot go through his legs. Nunez was chopped down in the build-up by Van Hecke, but play continued with Salah, who, instead of shooting, played a pass to the far post to Diaz. And as Salah played the pass, so I think he's onside. That will be close. It's a great pass from Salah to get it through the gap of Duncan Veltman, but the shot should never have gone through there, the legs of Verbruggen, as Diaz is looking for his second of the game. I think he's on. Looks on to me. This is a big moment in the game because if this stands, it's probably out of reach of Brighton and it's 3 points for Liverpool. And it'll be their 20th league win of the season. 12 of them at home. They're going to carefully draw the lines here. The VAR of Paul Tierney and his assistant VAR of Dan Cook. Oh, he's just offside. How close can you get? The top of his boot is just offside there. So unfortunate for Luis Diaz, who's looking for his brace. And he'll be denied of it. Good call from the assistant referee to line. That he put his flag up for that. Impressive that from the assistant referee to see that. It's just offside. My word, that was close. And it remains 2-1. Brighton get away with that one, especially the goalkeeper Verbruggen, who shouldn't have been beaten there. Shot going through his legs. As he plays it out to the right here to Murder, forward to Buonanotte. Inside the Brighton half, they still have it on the far side. Veltman falls back to the goalkeeper of Verbruggen. And then goes out to the left instead here to Estepinian, being closed down by Bradley. It's tackled by Bradley. Liverpool back in possession of the ball. With McAllister, who created the goal for the winner at the moment. Through no other than Mohamed Salah. Salah had only scored 1 in his previous 6 in the Premier League against Brighton, but now he's got 3 in his last 2. Dunk dispossesses McAllister. Forward to Murder. Out to the left to Gross. Adingra's free, and he finds him. The Ivorian charging here at Quansah. Szoboszlai's getting back as well. Adingra towards the byline. Can't get away from Quansah. What a slide tackle that is. And Szoboszlai at the right back position will clear it down the line. It'll be controlled by Dunk on halfway. That's really vital defending there from Jarrell Quansah. As Liverpool currently just lead by the 1. Brighton on halfway. Baleba. Back to Dunk. He goes across to Van Hecke. Down the line for Murder. Final third. Goes across and how is no one there? Bradley kicks behind. Danny Welbeck late on the scene. Couldn't get to that ball. That went right across the 6-yard box. Such a good cross there from Murder. And it'll be a in-swinging corner from this near side with Pascal Gross. But what an opportunity that is. Shows that Brighton are still in this game. Just being a goal behind. Cross goes in towards Van Hecke. Header won by Quansah, still alive in the area. Buonanotte squares it with his head. Only as far as Nunez, who heads it to Szoboszlai, then forward to Diaz. It's a 2-on-1 here. He goes to his left to Salah, who's away. Veltman's trying to get across. Salah in the area. Shot straight at Verbruggen. Just not quite clinical enough there. Mohamed Salah, who's looking for his second of the game. Such a free-flowing counter-attack there from Liverpool, from the corner that they were defending. They went straight up the other pitch to attack. But Salah just not quite hitting the corners there. Pretty simple save in the end for Verbruggen. And it's Brighton on the ball. Looking for Gross. It's cut out by Bradley. McAllister on this near side. Finds Salah on the halfway line. Back through to McAllister through the legs of Adingra. And then flicked by McAllister off Baleba. And that will be a throw-in for Liverpool. Who, in fairness, still haven't got this game wrapped up yet. But they are top of the table by 3 points. 4 ahead of City. 3 ahead of Arsenal. But Arsenal do have a better goal difference. So if City win at the Etihad, if Arsenal win at the Etihad, then they would go top themselves. We will have team news of that game as well. I'll try and get the team news for that. So it is Ortega in goal. It is the lineup that I told you about an hour ago. About half an hour ago. So it's Ortega in there, Akanji, Diaz, Ake, Gvardiol, Rodri, Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Foden and Haaland for Manchester City. And they do have John Stones on the bench with Jack Grealish. And for Arsenal, it's Raya in goal with White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kivior, Ødegaard, Jorginho, Rice, Saka, Havertz and Jesus. Martinelli, Zinchenko, Nketiah, Partey on the bench for Arsenal. Trossard as well. So they're the starting 11s for the game at the Etihad at 4:30. But we've still got time left in this game at Anfield. As it's Harvey Elliott who's going to be coming on for Liverpool shortly. As it's Brighton on the ball with Baleba. Out to the right to Buonanotte. Cut out by Gomez, who gets the return ball from Nunez. It's now Diaz, tackled by Veltman, throwing midway inside the Brighton half for Liverpool. Good defending there by Veltman, not allowing Diaz to get beyond him. Szoboszlai. As Liverpool have worked it to the near side here, it's with McAllister. It's now on the halfway line with Van Dijk. Goes to the left to Gomez. Forward here for Diaz. Inside to Endo. Bit of height on that one. Bit unnecessary, but Endo can nod it back down to Diaz. He's going to run at Veltman now. Good defending again from Veltman to slow down Diaz. But he will play it back to keep possession for Liverpool with Endo. Can't slip it through for Nunez. Ball in the air and headed back there by Van Hecke to Verbruggen. Good defending by the Brighton centre-half. As it's rolled into Gross, who leaves the 18-yard box with the ball. Pascal Gross still has it. Goes backwards here to Dunk. Not being pressed here by Liverpool players. The Liverpool team just holding their shape for the moment. It's on the edge of the box here with Dunk, who made his 5th England appearance in the international break. Started against Belgium. Didn't have the greatest of times though. Came under a bit of scrutiny for his performance for England against Belgium. As it's out to the left here to Gross, beyond the halfway line now. Playing a pass into Adingra. Inside it goes to Estepinian. Turns away from Endo. Still with Estepinian. Goes back to the halfway line to Gross. Brighton still in this game. Still have a chance. As it's just the 1 goal they trail by. Buonanotte. Gets away from Szoboszlai. And Endo into a central area now. Good run from Buonanotte. Goes to his left with a pass to Estepinian. It's now Gross in the left wing position on the angle. Onto his right foot. Crosses it in. Header away by Van Dijk. All as far as Estepinian, who heads out wide left to Adingra. Nods it down the line here for Gross. Back inside towards Adingra. Took off him by Bradley, but re-won by Estepinian. Adingra to Welbeck in the box. Wants a bit of space for a shot, but he's tackled by Szoboszlai. Kept alive though by Veltman. It's now with Welbeck in the right wing position, who can keep it away from Gomez. and tries to find Veltman, but it's cut out by Szoboszlai. Sends it over the top for Nunez, who can't quite beat Dunk to the ball. Good defending from the Brighton captain. And it remains 2-1 here. As Dunk goes forward to Welbeck, touches it into Buonanotte. And there'll be a foul there, and Welbeck, as he laid it off for Buonanotte, he was blocked to the ground there. Free kick for Brighton. So with Pascal Gross to take about 50 yards from goal, just to the right-hand side. So it's just going to have to be a ball delivered into the box. Salah acting as a little bit of a wall, but he'll get it over Salah and into the box. It's headed on by Dunk, and it has to be tipped behind by Kelleher. That header from Dunk was quite far out, and he's headed it towards the far corner. It's almost got past Kelleher. Ball in from Gross. Dunk was offside, so if it had gone in, it wouldn't have counted. And he headed it towards goal, and Kelleher had to tip that one behind. Flag didn't go up, so we will get a corner, even though Dunk was offside. Outswinger from Gross. In it goes towards Dunk, who heads it forward again, and it's parried by Kelleher. And he can just about keep it in play. Dropped that a couple of times there, Kelleher, maybe showing a bit of nerves. If I was Brighton and you're in and around the 18-yard box, I'd get some shots off. Kelleher seems a little bit nervy in the Liverpool goal. As it's Liverpool on the ball with Kelleher, who plays it up the field. It's a long ball. It's a high one up towards Diaz. It goes over him and Veltman, and Diaz will get on the end of it. Diaz running towards goal on the left-hand side, into the box, gets beyond Veltman and shoots towards the near post, and it's blocked by Van Hecke and behind for a corner. Good run in there from Luis Diaz. His shot was put behind via block. As Liverpool are eventually going to make that change with Harvey Elliott. And it's going to be Darwin Nunez to be replaced by Harvey Elliott, who's made over 100 appearances now for Liverpool. His 100th was against Luton, which he scored in the home win a month or so ago. And Liverpool are going to be met by two Brighton changes. Evan Ferguson, a boyhood Manchester United fan, will replace Simon Adingra, who's been pretty strong down that Brighton left. Definitely caused Liverpool a few issues. And the second change will see Jakob Murder come off for former Liverpool man Adam Lallana. He is on for his 100th Brighton appearance. He made 178 in a 6-year stint at Liverpool, scoring 22 goals. He's never scored against Liverpool in 10 previous appearances. As Szoboszlai puts the corner in, flicked on by Elliott. Ferguson needs to clear, and he kicks it off Quansah, and behind it goes for a goal kick. Almost quite the mess up at the far post there by the substitute Evan Ferguson. Good flick on by Elliott, who's just come on himself. And eventually it resulted in a Brighton goal kick. Really good flick on that by Elliott. He's not really known for his heading ability. That's Lallana. Can't get it through the legs of McAllister. Baleba, though, takes over. Marauding through. Oh, it comes off his hand according to the referee. Wasn't intentional there by Baleba. I think he's had a really good game, Carlos Baleba. In a ground like Anfield at just the age of 20. Turning 20 only in January as well. Diaz crosses in, headed away by Dunk in the 6-yard box. Back to Diaz again, who sends it to the edge of the box here to Gomez. Goes simple and goes backwards to Endo. Across to Quansah. As Brighton are running out of time here for an equaliser. But Liverpool still searching for a third. Elliott switched out to the left. What a ball that is to Diaz in the final third. Has to go backwards here to Gomez. He's been closed down by Buonanotte. Goes to the halfway line to Van Dijk. He's now been closed down by Ferguson. And Van Dijk's been forced back to Kelleher. Good pressing from Brighton to force Liverpool backwards here. It's now with Van Dijk. Goes into Endo. And then back to Kelleher. Quansah's free here to the right. Finds him. Welbeck will press him. Goes back to Kelleher. He will go long now with the clearance beyond the halfway line up towards Salah. He'll be headed to the right by Dunk to find his centre-back partner of Van Hecker. It's Brighton back on the ball, given away quite cheaply there by Liverpool. Dunk forward to Buonanotte, touches it in behind for Ferguson, who will give chase to it. Van Dijk gets there first, goes back to Kelleher, and then forward to Quansah on the edge of the box. Well dealt with there by Liverpool, as they were looking for the substitute of Evan Ferguson. Evan Ferguson's not got any Premier League goals in his last 15. That needs to change for the Irishman. There's Gross, found by Buonanotte, but the Gross pass can't find Lallana. What a chance that was. Brighton almost into the 18-yard box through Lallana, but the pass wasn't right from Gross, as Bradley almost loses it to Welbeck, but loses it to Estepinian on the Brighton left, into the area. Lallana keeps it away from McAllister, tries to play it through for Buonanotte, but it deflects off Endo to the gloves of Kelleher. And Brighton, again, is just showing signs that they can definitely grab an equaliser here, if Liverpool aren't careful. If you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be absolutely brilliant. As we're coming into the closing embers of the game here, as Diaz loses it. Veltman forward. Lallana shoots! It's just wide of the far post. I'm telling you, Liverpool need to be careful here. Their former man, Adam Lallana, coming close to scoring his first Premier League goal of the season. Diaz the one giving it away in the left-back position. Too easy for Veltman, who played it through for Lallana. Touch and shoot for the number 14. And as he had the shot towards goal, he got it through the legs of Quansah. But just wide of the post there. As this will definitely be nervy stuff for Liverpool supporters. As Kelleher sends the goal kick long out to the Liverpool left. Nodded on by Diaz, controlled by Salah, who's playing a more striker role now. He takes it out to the left here to Diaz. He goes backwards to Gomez. Gomez to the halfway line to Van Dijk. Down the line to Salah. He's got space in front of him. Got Buonanotte covering it right back. Goes to Gomez. Back into Salah. Inside for Endo. In a left wing position, the Japanese midfielder finds Gomez. Inside to Salah. Forward for Endo. Back to Salah again. In the area. Deflects to Szoboszlai, who's allowed to shoot. It deflects off Van Hecker up into the air where it's headed forward by Dunk. As far as McAllister. He goes back for Liverpool to Van Dijk. It's now out to the right to Elliott. Edge of the area. Allowed to get onto his left foot. He's allowed to shoot. Comes off the shoulder of Dunk. Back to Endo. It's now to Diaz in the right wing position. 1-on-1 with Estepinian. He's got his back to goal. Plays it to the run of Bradley, who chops in the area. It deflects back towards him off of Lallana, and the last touch off Beleba. And that'll be a goal kick. Last touch off Bradley instead. Brighton will take it quickly with 2.5 minutes of the 90 to play. Van Hecker, tripped by Endo. Yellow card for the number 3 for Liverpool on the halfway line. Van Hecker trying to bring it forward out from the back for Brighton, but stopped in his tracks by Endo. Liverpool going to make another late change here. Someone who also came under a little bit of scrutiny after his substitute appearance in the FA Cup, Cody Gakpo, will come on for the goal scorer of Liverpool's first, and that's Luis Diaz. Cody Gakpo coming on for his 48th Premier League appearance. He played 2 games for the Netherlands in the recent international break, starting one of them against Scotland, where he provided 2 assists in the Netherlands' 4-0 win against Scotland. But not long left for Liverpool to hang on to a very important 3 points here. So it'll be Brighton to play it out to the right from the free kick. Gross to Veltman. Low cross goes in. Dealt with by McAllister. Straight to Salah. Not got many up there with him as Salah will get beyond Gross. But can't get away from Veltman on halfway. Big tackle from Joel Veltman. He finds Van Hecker. Turns away from Salah. And away from Szoboszlai. And plays it forward to Welbeck. It's now with Lallana. Space out to the right. He can find Pascal Gross. Time for the cross. In it goes. Straight into the gloves of Kelleher. What an anticlimax that is. Really poor cross from Gross as Kelleher throws it out quickly to Elliott. Lifted ball down the line for Szoboszlai, who can keep it in on halfway. On the near side, just kept in, but he's been trapped by Beleba. but you can work it to Bradley, forward to Elliott, inside to McAllister, touches away from Gross, beyond the halfway line. McAllister still has it. Elliott's away on the right, finds him in the box, on the byline. Elliott onto his left foot, squares it, deflects through. Salah with the shots! It's a great save from Verbruggen. It looked like that was only going to one place in the net, and that was in the bottom left corner. But what a save that is from Verbruggen on Salah. And it remains 2-1. We're about to hit the 90th minute. Buonanotte keeps it away from Elliott. Finds Estepinian. 6 minutes of added on time. As Buonanotte gives it away for Brighton. Looking in the centre circle for Lallana. Goes through for Gomez at left back, who enters the Brighton half. Running forward with intent here, Gomez. Here he is onto his right foot. Joe Gomez lifting it through. Can't find Salah. Picked up here by Estepinian. Out to the Brighton right here to Lallana. Lays it off for Beleba. It's now on the edge of the box with Van Hecker. This game is not dead yet. Estepinian. Ball inside to Welbeck. Lays it off behind him here to Gross. We're in the Liverpool half now. Gross out to the right to Buonanotte. Veltman joins in the attack on the right. Buonanotte doesn't use him for now. He goes forward to Welbeck instead. Lays it off for Gross. Looking for Estepinian, who controls it in the final third. Goes backwards to Gross again, who's just drifted out to this left-hand side for Brighton. Dunk. Back to Gross. Dunk again. Oh, turns away from Szoboszlai. Look at that from Dunk. And plays it to the edge of the area. Buonanotte's touch just gets away from him. And then cleared away by Van Dijk. Throwing on halfway for Brighton. Liverpool need to be careful here, because this would be the biggest 3 points of the season. They almost had their third goal, but it was an unbelievable save that from Verbruggen on Salah's weak-footed shot. Looked like it was going in to that bottom left corner. What a save it was. As Brighton bring it out from the back with Gross. Just inside his own half here. As Brighton have made a change, it seems. Valentin Barco, the young Argentine fullback's on, as they've lost it here. Gross can't keep it away from Salah. McAllister through for Elliott. It's a straight swap as well. Estepinian off for Barco. Crossed in by Elliott, just gets away from Szoboszlai, who will keep it alive on the Liverpool left here, just outside the 18-yard box. 4 minutes left to play. Gomez has it. Puts it into the box, where it's cut out by Dunk. Bit of a waste that from Gomez. Not quite sure what he's trying to do there. As Dunk goes forward to Lallana. Lays it off for Gross. Now with Dunk. All Liverpool players behind the ball. Dunk gets it through in between the lines for Welbeck. He's got loads of space on that right-hand side. Finds Buonanotte. Veltman's on the overlap. Welbeck's through in the box. They find him. Welbeck shoots, and it's off the side netting. The angle was tight. Maybe he should have tried to have crossed that one instead. He found himself in a lot of space there, Welbeck. Played it through to Buonanotte, who got it through the gap of Endo and Gomez to find Welbeck, who got the touch away from Van Dijk, but should have probably tried to cross that, because the shot was never going to go in. Never going to go in. Even if it was on target, Kelleher would have been equal to it. As we've got 3 minutes left of added on time, Liverpool are going to make another change here. Ryan Gravenberch will come off the bench, and he'll replace number 8, Dominic Szoboszlai. So a like-for-like change for the last couple of minutes here. Fresh legs for Liverpool in the centre of the park. As Kelleher sends the goal kick long out to the Liverpool left. Headed on by Gakpo. Salah's chasing it. Verbruggen never came, but Dunk deals with it. Finds Veltman at right back, who's pulled back by Gakpo. That should be a booking, really, for Liverpool's number 18, and it will be. Gakpo's featured twice against Brighton, and in both of those games they've lost. Don't think they'll lose this one, but they could still draw it. Dunk through for Gross, out to the left to Barco. He's going to go for an early ball into the box. It's a low one. It's had to be kicked out of play by Quansah. Thrown for Brighton in the near side in this final third. Barco with the throw-in. Made his senior debut for Argentina in the international break. Barco gets the return from Lallana, overruns it though straight into Bradley, who needs to clear it if possible. Forward it goes for Salah, who turns forward himself, away from Dunk. Elliott's forward in front of him. He finds the ball towards Elliott. It deflects off Baleba. It's well dealt with by Baleba, who can kick it towards the goalkeeper, who can avoid the corner. Oh, he kept it in. I don't know how he's kept it in. Barco forward to Gross on the edge of the box. Forward towards Lallana. Tackle by Endo. It's now with McAllister. Now to Salah in the box. Left-footed shot dragged wide of the near post. I think that's Salah's 12th shot of the game. He has got one goal to show for it. And with less than a minute to go, Liverpool still hang on. Midway side the Brighton half here with Van Hecker. Goes for a switch out to the left. Finds Barco. Brilliant ball. Brighton attacking. He can't get it forward there towards Lallana. Kept away though from Elliott. So Brighton still have it on the halfway line. In the centre circle with Van Hecker. He goes for another switch out to the left, looking for Barco. It's another great ball. And Barco again can't get away from Bradley. It's now with Elliott. He goes back to Bradley. Forward to Salah. To Gravenberch in the midfield now. Inside the Liverpool half as we're running out of time here at Anfield. It's with Van Dijk. Midway side the Liverpool half. He goes forward to McAllister. Then to the right to Bradley. We've played the 6 minutes of added on time here at Anfield. It's all down to the referee's whistle. Bradley lays it off for Elliott on this near side in the Brighton half. It's where Liverpool want to be. Endo chips it out to the left here to Gakpo. Good chested control here for Gakpo. He's going to run at Veltman onto his right foot. Plays it backwards to Gomez, who turns away from Lallana. Back into the box for Gakpo. Squares it towards Gravenberch. Deflects off Buonanotte. Elliott can't have the chance to shoot because the referee blows the whistle. And Liverpool return to the top of the Premier League for now. It's a 2-1 victory against Brighton. It's a team that they've struggled to beat so many times. This is Klopp's first victory against Roberto De Zerbi after 4 failed attempts before. They went behind within 90 seconds. A Danny Welbeck screamer from the edge of the box put Brighton ahead. But from then till the end, it was domination from Liverpool in terms of possession. Brighton were always a threat on the break. But Liverpool scored 27 minutes into the game. Luis Diaz with the equaliser. Latching on to the end of a Salah header forward, which was poked towards goal by Veltman. And Diaz was able to put it into the top left corner. And the eventual winner was scored by Mohamed Salah with 25 minutes to play. Great ball played through into the box by McAllister. Salah played onside by Van Hecker. Curled it into the bottom left corner. No chance for Verbruggen. Salah almost had a second near the end of the game. It was a brilliant save from the Brighton goalkeeper to keep it at 2-1. But with slight chances at the end for Brighton, nothing clear cut. They weren't able to get that equaliser. So Brighton stay 9th. 2 points off West Ham. In 7th for that final European spot. But Anfield, it finishes Liverpool 2, Brighton 1. Liverpool go back to the top of the league. They have played a game extra, of course, but they are 3 clear of Arsenal and they're 4 clear of Manchester City. So no matter what happens today, as long as Arsenal do not win, Liverpool will be top going into their next league game, which is Sheffield United at home, which will be a very favourable fixture for Liverpool. And then next weekend, they've got to travel to Old Trafford again, this time in the league. That'll be a big moment for Liverpool. If they want to win this title, there are games they need to win. That's where they need to show their mentality of going back to a ground where they've most recently lost at. But here at Anfield, they've done the job that was needed to do. Going behind early, but turning it around through Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah. Thank you to everyone who did watch. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. My next commentary is tomorrow, where Leeds take on Hull, and then the next commentary next week will be on Thursday. We'll be covering Liverpool again at home in that game to Sheffield United. But if you did enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe. As here at Anfield, Brighton took an early lead through Danny Welbeck. It was cancelled out by Luis Diaz, but the winner, of course, was the inevitable Mohamed Salah. He had 12 shots in the game. One of them went in the back of the net. It was the winner for Liverpool. It puts them top of the tree It's now down to Manchester City and Arsenal to battle it out for those 3 points at the Etihad. But here at Anfield, it finishes Liverpool 2, Brighton 1.